Hi everyone, this is Teresa from Base 10 Montessori, and today I want to talk about improving handwriting. But first, we need to reflect on our teaching experiences. Helping our students often requires us to think outside the box of what is normal. To help certain students that may be struggling with hand development and hand strength, we may have to adapt our environments or change our expectations of behavior. One of the things I love the most about Montessori is our flexibility. Our environment allows children to work in ways that traditional public school settings don't allow. Because of this, parents are drawn to the freedom, flexibility, and individuality that Montessori offers. But here's a secret that many experienced Montessorians have figured out. No two Montessori teachers and no two Montessori schools are alike. Because of this, the environment can look and feel very different depending on the teacher and the school. What is permitted or prohibited can change from classroom to classroom, even within the same school. I think of Montessori as a freedom with limits environment. I think there should be a careful balance. Freedom is built upon a series of mastered skills, and the more skills you have, the more freedom you can enjoy. But there are many other styles of Montessori teachers out there, and many of them approach the environment differently. Some Montessori teachers really lean into this crunchy granola style of teaching where everything goes. The children have absolute freedom. In my opinion, this often leads to chaos. These rooms often lack order and precision. But then there is the polar opposite type of Montessori teacher. This is the strict, regimented Montessori teacher who focuses on the control aspect of Montessori. No movement and no sound can happen in the room without permission being given by an adult. The control of error for everything in the room is the adult. As a result, the children have no enthusiasm. They are often bored and unable to choose anything for themselves and usually wait for an adult to direct them to their next work. So, in order to help children develop, we need to find that right balance. And there are two very important ways we discover this in our environments. The first way we find that right amount of freedom is by receiving special training so that we understand development. What is the child capable of at each stage of development? Do we have the appropriate expectations? Do we understand the child's needs? The second way we discover how much freedom to include in our classrooms is by understanding the purpose of the materials, or the purpose of a behavior. And that's what I want to talk about today in the context of helping children develop their hands for writing. It is always highly recommended by Montessori to have those large chalkboards on the wall. Now, I know that some classrooms don't have those large chalkboards on the walls. Some classrooms do have them, but I've noticed many teachers only allow older students to use them and not the younger. And then some teachers I've worked with only allow children to write at a desk, not on the floor, and not standing up. So who is right? Let's stop and think for a minute about the purpose behind these rules. If you ask these teachers the reasoning behind their decisions, they can tell you about the purpose. Sometimes they want children to sit at a table because that's what their training taught them to do, and they never stop to question why, or consider any other perspective outside of their training. Some won't let children lay on the floor because they think it's being lazy. And some think it creates a tripping hazard, or perhaps it takes up too much space in a very small room. These teachers all have valid reasons for their rules, but what if by following those rules, we as teachers and parents are ignoring something really important? What if there is an even greater purpose to do something differently? Today, I want to give you some of the reasons why children should be allowed to stand up or even lay down on the floor to work and write. Before we begin, I just want to let everyone know that the resources I'm sharing today were sent to me by an OT from a class that I'm taking. I'm currently enrolled in a class through the Montessori Medical Partnership for Inclusion. And this is the class I'm taking right here, Understanding Interventions and Therapies in a Montessori Setting. So if you want, you can go over to this website, take a look around, maybe sign up for one of their trainings. I highly recommend it. This is actually the second class I've taken through MMPI. So head on over to their website if you get a chance and check out their training programs. With that being said, let's check out the resources I have for you today. The first one we're going to look at is writing from a vertical position, and then we're going to talk about tummy time for all age groups. And the first one we're going to talk about today is the benefits of writing and working on a vertical surface. And this is from otoutside.com. And it says, do you know why preschools use easels? There is an absolute functional purpose to them. and they are a goldmine for developing critical skills. You see, when kiddos work on a vertical surface, they are gaining so many developmental benefits. Now, I think most of us who work in the early childhood field do have an easel or have a vertical surface to work on, but let's find out why that's important. A recent study published by the American Journal of Occupational Therapy compared a small group of students working on a vertical surface and a horizontal surface. While accuracy was not improved, speed and fluidity of movements improved when working in a vertical plane. The upper trapezius muscles were also activated while writing on the vertical surface. So, what does this mean? When writing or working in a vertical plane, the muscles of the shoulder girdle and core are turned on. This can lead to increased muscle control as well as improved visual tracking and eye convergence skills. Standing up can help fidgety children sustain their attention and engage in learning more so than when they are seated. Are you thinking about a specific student right now? I bet you one just came to mind, didn't it? Try a vertical standing position for this child. See if it helps. A vertical surface improves bilateral coordination. Have you tried doing anything on the wall with just one hand? It is so hard. A stencil, reaching up to change a light bulb, washing a window or a mirror, all these tasks are better performed with one hand stabilizing and one hand doing. The wrist is placed in extension and encourages better control of the fingers. Working against gravity provides a great strengthening activity. Working on a vertical surface assists with directionality and spatial awareness. While doing big movements in various directions, your kiddo is working on crossing their midline, which helps with handedness and gets both sides of the brain working together. And then below this, there are some suggestions for activities. So go ahead and check that out. I'm not going to read through all of them today, but it looks like there's a lot of great suggestions and resources on this one. Let's switch over to Tummy Time for Everyone. And this is from asensorylife.com. It says one of the easiest and most beneficial ways to provide a dose of organizing and regulating sensory input is prone on elbows. So that's this picture right at the top. This is also known as tummy time. This is a developmental position first encouraged for infants and should be encouraged throughout life, even as adults. Let me explain why. So let's skip down to this part right here. When in this position, the neck is in extension, which activates the brainstem, and this is very regulating for the nervous system. Additional therapeutic and sensory benefits of tummy time. This promotes extension, which is one of the two most important developmental patterns for sensory integration. It facilitates shoulder girdle strength and stability, which is essential for fine motor and visual motor development. It also promotes ocular motor development. It provides deep pressure touch to the entire surface of the body that is touching the floor or ground. And it provides a small dose of joint traction to the spine with the break from gravity in upright positions. So that's a lot of really great information right there. Between these two websites, do you feel as though you have enough information to think outside of the box as far as how you maybe change some expectations in your classroom or your homeschool environment? Do you feel a little more compelled to try something different, such as working on a vertical surface or allowing your child or your student to lay on the floor and do work? And then down below, it just gives some suggestions for incorporating tummy time into the day for your child or for yourself. So remember, this will also benefit you. So maybe you need to put yourself in some tummy time here soon. So I will also drop a link to this website down below so that you can check it out. I hope that this has kind of challenged you to think outside of the box as far as what you can include in your classroom, what you can do in your classroom that might be a little bit different. I also want to invite you to go over to my YouTube channel, and right here on my shorts videos, right here, go down and you see this really colorful tennis ball right here. This is an activity you can work on at home for hand strengthening exercises. So this is just a tennis ball. You cut a little slit in it so it makes a smiley face. You can draw some eyeballs on it and you get to feed the tennis ball. So that's a really quick little video suggestion for hand strengthening as well. I also have another handwriting video which focuses on a fun multisensory way to do handwriting in your classroom or in your homeschool environment. I like to call it rainbow words or rainbow letters because we simply get out a bunch of colored chalk and we write over the letters in every single color chalk that they want. until finally we create this beautiful rainbow, and then we can have some fun smudging it. So there's a couple different video shorts that I put out to go with hand strengthening and hand development as well. So that's it. That's all I have for you today. I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.